Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Hi everybody, Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, April the 28th, race number 7 at Keeneland. It's one of those typical Keeneland allowance races. A full field, this for 3-year-old fillies going 1 mile and 3/16 on the turf. And as we take a look at this field, Mike, you could probably make a case for 6 of them. It just looks like a spread race in multiple race wagers.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open. None of these fillies, several of them have already run really well, so you feel like there's a lot of potential in this race, but none of them, have sort of separated themselves from anybody else in here, Dan. Kind of feels like the distance will be important in this race, and then we'll see who gets the best trip, I guess.
Friends, remember to view those free Formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Take a peek, handicap along with us. There's a coupled entry in this race. The One Shad Nation, the number 1A Schlafmitz, who is the only horse on the also eligible list. So we'll begin our analysis with the number 1, that being Shad Nation, trained by Christophe Clement. And Mike, this horse took on stakes competition in her seasonal debut last time out, the Sanibel Island, and I just don't think that trip worked out for her. There didn't seem to be a ton of pace. She ended up last on the rail turning into the stretch, and it looked like she was going to do absolutely no running whatsoever. And then lo and behold, she's in the picture late, getting up for 4th. Maybe this extra distance will help. I do think Lasix will.
Yeah, that's probably true. I felt the same way about her last race. I mean, it's not like she did a ton of running in there, but it did look like she wasn't going to be anywhere. And then she did pass a couple of horses late. I don't know, Dan, I still wasn't thrilled with the performance, mostly because I'm not sure that was the greatest stakes field in the world there that she faced. The horse that wound up running second there was like 1,000,000 to 1. I don't know. I didn't think that was a good race. I thought she was really bad in the Chelsea Flower last November in New York, too. I mean, she just didn't do anything in there. There was a fast pace in front of her. She made the same move as the winner in there and just got totally outkicked. I don't know. I thought her debut was good. I don't like her 2 races since.
But she was a big price in her debut, 10 to 1. She's likely to be a fraction of those odds here for the top connections, getting Lasix for the first time and dropping out of a stakes race. Bravo Kitten is the number 2, has done little wrong for Safi Joseph. 3 starts, has hit the board in all of them, including 2 weeks ago right here at Keeneland, going 1 mile and a 16th. Let's watch this race right now. And Bravo Kitten got a solid pace over a wet turf course. They went 23 and change for the opening quarter, and she ran just fine, I thought, to be second, Mike. This filly has a lot of upside, draws the inside, probably could work out a tactical trip.
Yeah, that's probably true. I did think she ran okay in here. This is just a situation, Dan, where she got a good trip. She had every chance to win, and that's just the Chad Brown filly who is finishing way too strongly for her late. She has to settle for second, but she ran fine in there. She won her prior race back in January at Gulfstream. Man, did she get a perfect trip winning that day, though. She has that kind of tactical speed. I guess that's a good thing.
The 3 Cecilitas' lone lifetime victory came on dirt, an off-turf race over sloppy going 2 starts back at the fairgrounds. I think she was probably entered too ambitiously last time out in a stakes race at the fairgrounds. With her running style, she really needs a lot of help up front. She had her chances in a couple of races at Laurel last year, couldn't get it done in her second lifetime start. I want to take a wait-and-see approach against these promising fillies.
Yeah, that's probably the right way to do it. We'll see what kind of price she's at. Some kind of big price. You could use her. It's all about what kind of trip she's going to get here, Dan, because as you mentioned, she has no speed at all. When you go back and watch that stakes race, most recently at Fairgrounds, boy, did she get herself into all kinds of trouble in the stretch of that race. And, listen, she was a big price that day, and I don't want to sit here and say she was going to win, but she was ahead of the horses that finished first, second, and third in there when they came down to about mid-stretch, and she had to totally take up behind another horse and just lost all chance.
The number 4, 2 Socks, talk about big prices. She was a stunner in her career debut over the synthetic surface at Dundalk in Ireland. She was 66 to 1, and she made a pretty strong stretch run to win that race. The runner-up would come back to win. It looks like she was purchased since that last race. Centigram motion, Lasix on. Let's see how she handles turf. Again, a similar situation. She's stepping up in class. She's switching surfaces. I know it's a great trainer, but you look at these connections, she's going to take some money and maybe too much.
Yeah, I wouldn't take a too short of a price on her either. I also won't be surprised when she really handles turf because she has that kind of pedigree to just be a pretty good turf horse. I didn't love her debut, Dan. I do kind of feel like when you watch it, you kind of feel like more distance might be just what she wants because it took her forever to finally kick it into gear, and she finally did kick it into gear there and ran that field down. And we're not going to go over the trainer stats here, but just look up Grand Motion with these foreign imports, off a trainer change switching to turf. The numbers are outstanding.
Beside herself is the number 5, going out for trainer Todd Pletcher, gate to wire winner, 2 starts back at Gulfstream. And she has the kind of speed where it's possible that Louis Saez, a very aggressive rider who was aboard her that day, will just decide to try to make the lead in this spot. And I think that could be advantageous. They ran her in the Here Comes the Bride last time out. They took her off of the pace and they caught a very good filly in Spenderella.
Yeah, I'm going to give her a pass for that last one. I just don't feel like that was a field that she could beat. Obviously, when she broke her maiden there, just sort of took charge as an odds-on favorite. But I still thought she ran pretty well in there. And I'm with you. I feel like Saez might just decide to get aggressive with her. She has plenty of pedigree to get this added distance. There are things to like about this horse.
Another one that could be close to the pace is the number 6, Memphis Cash Queen, who is going to be racing on turf for the first time. Thus far, the Classic Empires have done okay on turf from limited data, 14% with first turf runners. I just don't see enough grass on the bottom of this pedigree to make me interested, but she does have tactical speed.
Yeah, she does. She's a little cheap on the way in here, Dan, and it's not like she's facing some kind of, super soft allowance field here. It feels like there are good horses in here, and she's going to have to be a lot better on turf than she is on the main track.
Dan went 0 for 1 on turf. She's foaled 2 prior turf starters. None of them have won on the surface. Lavish Habits has won not only on the surface, she's won on Keeneland turf, and she did it 20 days ago. And I thought James Grand gave her a great closer's ride and trip. Let's watch this race on April the 8th. The pace was there for her going this exact mile and 3/16 distance. Look at Graham get to the outside at just the right time, and Lavish Habits is going to do the rest.
Yeah, this trip really worked out for her. She got to save a lot of ground. She was able to switch clear very cleanly at the top of the stretch, but she also finishes really well, Dan. She's going to run down this leader. The horse to her outside has dead aim on her, and she is not going to let that horse go by here. She's holding her all the way to the finish. I really like this performance. I think she's a major contender right back.
Honey Run, Mike, is a little bit interesting. The number 8, heck, she's won her last 2 starts. Last time at the fairgrounds in an off-the-turf race, she won that race by a country mile. 2 starts back, I thought she even made an early move into the teeth of the pace. It was a much weaker race, a $30,000 maiden claimer, but it looks like she's found her niche on the turf. She beat a couple of minor next-out winners in the maiden race on grass 2 back.
Yeah, I looked at her the same way, Dan. She doesn't have any figures, but that could be a good thing because it won't pull that much money her way. And I do think she might be able to handle the step up in class for a trainer who's just gotten her really good in her recent starts.
I think you're trying to look for dirtied up horses at prices, at least to try to complete your exotics in races like this. I think the 9, My Favorite Daughter, fits the bill. Her last race on dirt is a throwout. It was nice that at least she showed some speed, but she was in against Nostalgic, who's on the Kentucky Oaks Trail. 2 starts back in the Sweetest Chance. She was 30 to 1 that day on turf. She went very fast on the lead, and I don't think she was really embarrassed at the end of that race. I'm not interested in the Synth race, 3 starts back. I thought she did some good work at Tampa Bay, 4 back against weaker.
I agree with all that stuff, Dan. I mean, I ultimately couldn't quite get there with her, but she did really run a lot better than it may look on paper 2 starts back in the Swedish Chant because that was a fast pace. And she was still hanging around there at the end. Another effort like that, I guess, gives her a chance in here.
Gotta respect the 10 When the Dawn Breaks simply because of the connections. You got Brad Cox, you got Florent Giroux, you've got a lightly raced filly, raced twice in her career, debut winner coming from out of it at the fairgrounds. Somehow a Cox trained runner pays $16 down there. And then second time out, this horse just missed, and I thought she ran okay. I thought that pace was solid for that class.
Yeah, I agree with you. She didn't, when you go back and watch the replay of that race, she didn't have like some big excuse not to get there. She actually got caught from behind by the horse that won the race, but that horse was the favorite. But I still thought she was really game through the stretch there. She just would not stop trying, and she almost got the job done. Her career debut, I thought, was a really good performance. Then she did not get a good trip in there. It took her forever to get clear. And once she got clear, she just charged that field down. She has a big pedigree too. It's all distance on the dam side.
If you're looking for an outside the box horse at a price, how about the 11? Amani's Image, trying turf for the first time for a very underrated trainer. And this filly has the pedigree, I think, to handle turf. She's by the great stallion Tappet. She's kin to 3 turf winners. The dam was a multiple Group 1 winner in Chile. I think she won a Group 1 race on dirt by like 30 lengths down there. But she also was Grade 1 placed on synthetic in North America. She's got a little bit of speed.
Yeah, those things are all true. Obviously, she's going to have to run the race of her life to beat this field, and she's going to have to do it on a surface she's never been on before. But at a big price, you could do worse than horses like this. She's not bad.
Yeah, figures light on dirt, maybe turf is her surface, way up against it against Oaks-bound Kathleen O last time out in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. Pearl Earring is up next for Godolphin. Tough outside post position for this one, who just missed 2 starts back. I thought she had a big chance in that race. I was actually a little bit disappointed she didn't get the job done there. Last time out, she ran in a stakes race. She was okay. I don't know. Right now, I kind of think that she's the kind of filly that needs a trip, and I think she's going to have a tough time working one out from out there.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, her overall form's fine. The race 2 starts back, she had no excuse in there. That was a race that if she was good enough, she would have won, and she just wasn't good enough to do it. She didn't have nearly the trouble in that stakes race last time that the other horse coming out of that race did, and I just wouldn't take this horse back out of that race.
Schlafmitz is on the also eligible list. If she comes in here, it will be making her turf debut. She's by Blame. She's got a little bit of turf pedigree. Before we get to our top selections, remember to subscribe to the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel. We really would appreciate it if you do so. We've got some great Kentucky Derby related content coming up. Let's take a look at our top selections for the Thursday race of the day. For me, it's just wide open. It's a spread. I think Shad Nation is a little bit interesting simply because she's getting Lasix for the first time. She just was flat in her last 2 races. That worries me. I think the Pletcher horse is interesting, but I don't love her at a kind of shortish price. I'm curious at Lavish Habits. I think if she gets a little bit of pace, she can kick.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna use that horse too. I put her second. I could have easily put her on top. I went with When the Dawn Breaks, who I really liked her debut, and I thought she ran fine last time.
And you got the connections in your corner and a lot of upside. 10-7-2-3 for Mike, 1-5-7-2 for me. Wide open, fun race. Get those free formulator pass performances. Play the race with DRF Bets. You get free formulator pass performances for everything. It's race 7 at Keeneland on Thursday. Good luck.